What I'm going to talk about today is how to level up your customer experience strategy to unlock greatness in your customer experience. The Contentsquare adventure started 12 years ago. We saw this opportunity that I'm going to talk about here today for our customers, but fast forward 12 years after that, with a lot of hard work, with a very clear vision, with a lot of determination, we have been very lucky to accomplish a lot of things. Today, we have 1.3 million customers. I'll talk about this a bit later, and we're trusted by over 2,000 enterprises. We have a very large team with a massive investment in R&D. We have a global presence all over the world with 16 offices spanning the globe. We also have collected trillions of data points over the years with transaction volume of 2.5 billion in revenue going through our platform, measured by our platform every single day. And innovation, of course, is at the center of all of this, where we have over 100 patents of homegrown innovation, but also through acquisition. We have acquired 8 companies to accelerate our vision. All, of course, of this powered by an amazing investment of 1.4 billion in the company. The 2,000 enterprise customers plus that we have here, you see a lot of the great logos across different industries, from retail to banking, travel, telco, and so on. We're very grateful for the trust that all of these customers have put in us. It's a true testament to the great product and the great service that we have provided to these customers at Contentsquare. But also, it's not just large enterprises, as I just said. You see that 1.3 million websites and apps around the world are using our products every single day. And I'm very lucky to be here in the Netherlands because I think the Netherlands is a country that punches above its weight in terms of innovation. You can see that for a relatively small, in terms of population, country compared to the rest, it ranks as number 4 on the list of websites. So I think it's a testament also to how the Dutch community is always ahead in terms of digital adoption and innovation. What brings all of these websites and customers together, what brings us all here together, is an understanding and a passion for knowing that experience is everything. More than the products, more than the services that we provide, customers more and more are choosing one service or one product over the other because of experience. The customers are demanding and they are unforgiving. A small stat I want to share with you here, that a Gen Z buyer today would leave an app or a website after 3 seconds of frustration to never come back. That shows you how important it is for us to really excel when it comes to shipping great experiences. And this is the core of what drives our vision and strategy at Contentsquare as well. So if I imagine what the future looks like, we believe that in the future, 10 years from now or so, every experience will be instantly perfect. It's a loaded term, instantly perfect. So what does this really mean for us here? What will perfect look like in the future? Perfect can mean a lot of different things. One way for something to be perfect is for it to be intuitive and joyful. It will be experiences will be hyper-personalized, omni-channel, and intuitive based on your own behaviors and feelings. Brands not only will understand your goals, but also understand how you feel and what your mood is. A good example of this is actually one of my favorite features of Spotify today, is a feature they released in global availability recently called Daylist. And the Daylist is like a playlist that learns your mood through the day based on your previous listening behavior. And the playlist changes itself through the day to match your mood in the morning, your mood in the afternoon, the mood of the evening. That's a perfect example of how we already see this happening today. But perfect could also mean a real-time adaptability, an experience that changes and evolves based on the context that you are in, based on the parameters and the variables that the experience exists in. Imagine, for example, an e-commerce experience that can be very minimal and very simple and very fast if you're in transit in a subway or on the move. But when you're at the comfort of your own home, where you have the luxury of time, where you have the luxury of space, you can really have the full-fledged, super interactive, very visual experience. Perfect would also mean anticipation, being one step ahead of your own need, being able to predict when you need something before you even know that you want it. A good example of this, imagine, like what you see in the picture here, you're having dinner, you're going out, And by the time you ask for the check, and taxi is already ordered for you to take you home, right? Knowing that you, at this point in time, and this is what you need, and make it happen for you. Perfect could also mean evolving to the changes in platforms and edge devices that we use and how we interact with the computers and the internet. We've seen a lot of advances in terms of immersive mixed reality headsets and so on, like the Apple Vision Pro, the Meta Orion, and all of these things. But we also saw new ways for us to interact with the computers other than the mouse and the keyboard, where we can speak and type in natural language with the computer to be able to converse with them and get things done. Perfect could also mean things that are not just about the technology itself, but also things like accessibility, sustainability, and privacy. You know, the experiences need to be accessible so that everyone can have the same great experiences irrespective of their own personal ability. Sustainability, everyone today cares a lot more. You know, we're seeing this more and more. I'm sure you see this with your own customers. Customers now care more about the sustainability of the choices they make, the sustainability of the technology that they use, the energy consumption, CO2 emissions, and so on. And finally, privacy. I mean, here, of course, like in Europe, all of us, privacy is a really big topic, but also around the globe, we're seeing this becoming more and more of an item that is high on everyone's agenda, where we believe that privacy by design has to be at the core of everything. But the question is, if this is what the future looks like, if this is how we believe where the future would be in 10 years from now, what does the reality look like for us today if we look at the experiences that we're building? When we speak with marketers, we see that 81%, this is a Gartner data point, 81% of marketers say that the primary way their companies are going to compete will be mostly or completely on the basis of customer experiences. Of course, we see, you know, most industries now are getting hyper-competitive. The selections are looking similar, you know, the commoditization of a lot of services happening as well. So experience is really the key to a lot of things. And of course, you know, with competing with experiences, we see from the great work we've been doing with our customers that actually investing in experience leads to tangible business improvements, you know, driving business results and improving KPIs like the ones you see on this slide. But the reality, unfortunately, is that it's not that easy. The reality is that we are not succeeding as much as we want, all of us collectively, to deliver on these promises. At Contentsquare, we run this digital benchmark every single year based on 40 billion data points that we collect on all the websites of our customers. And we can see that 39%, or 2 in 5, of every experience has some frustration in it. Something that is broken, something that doesn't work just right, something that takes too long to load. And when we speak to the same people who just said that 81% of them want to compete in experience, then you ask them, okay, the experience that you're shipping, do you feel that you're shipping something that your customers love? Only 12% say they do. So this means 88% feels that they are under-delivering on what their customers expect of them. But we're being too hard on ourselves, you know, because the reality is it's easier said than done. We know that. We have gone, and this is why Contentsquare exists today, because I think we have all been failed about what traditional analytics can provide for us. Because things are, sorry. If I go to that, you see, even that experience has friction, you know? So you see, it's not that easy. Like, it's very, very complex for us to build great experiences because as I said, customer expectations through the roof, right? Journeys are insane complex. You know, omni-channel, very different paths that the customers can take and so on. And then finally, technology offers amazing opportunity, but puts a lot of pressure on us every day to deliver and deliver fast. What we see repeatedly is the following challenge. Customers see that there is siloed data. You know, they do not have enough actionable insights because of that disconnect in the data and the tools that they use, so unable to create that one source of truth, that 360 view of their customers. There is way too much complexity as well. It is not that easy to start an analysis, let alone actually see it through, which leads a lot of time to analysis paralysis. Customers get stuck trying to figure out what to do, but they get nowhere. And then finally, all of this ends up being way too time-consuming, ends up being way too hard, because we're all, limited in resources. We don't have infinite budgets. We don't have infinite hours in the day, and this becomes very challenging. And this is what the customers want. What the customers really want is they want robust data that is complete, that gives them this full view that they can trust. They want to be able very quickly, in a self-serve fashion, with very simple and intuitive interfaces to surface the right insights. And then finally, they want to be able to take meaningful actions on them. At the end of the day, we want to be able to prioritize what is the right thing for us to work on to have the biggest impact on the business. And this is what we've been doing for the last 10 years plus at Contentsquare, where we have been really building a tool that can really get you this 360 view of your customer and have this complete set of data that goes beyond the click. Forever, this whole industry has been based on the click. Pay-per-click, click-through rate, all of these things, but the click is just scratching the surface. There is so much that happens before and after the click, and this is where we come in, and that's what we really do to make this happen, and to demonstrate the importance of everything else. Because to really understand an experience and what makes it good or bad, there are many dimensions to that experience. And it's only when you look at that holistic combination of all of these variables where you can really understand whether something is good or bad. So we'll play a little game just to demonstrate that point. There we go. So you'll have options A and B. I'll ask you a few questions. And and if you think that A is the right answer, I will ask you to raise your hand, and then I'll ask you if you think B is the right answer, you'll raise your hand. So these are two pictures on someone's website, and we're going to try to evaluate some of the dimensions of performance of these two pictures. So more friction. So this is when it comes to engagement. So now I've spoiled this, so I'll tell you the right answer. So the right answer on this one was A. But okay, so this is just, this was part of me doing a demo just to show you how this works, and now we'll go for the real questions. So now let's think about loading time. If you think A has the larger loading time or the higher loading time, raise your hand. Wow, no one. If you think B has the higher loading time, raise your hand. There are people who didn't raise their hands, so I don't know if you think there is a third option, but it has to be higher or lower, Okay, so the answer is A. A has the higher loading time. So now let's look at conversion rate. Who thinks A has the higher conversion rate? Raise your hand. Some people in the back. Okay, good. And B, the rest? Good. So the B group wins this one. B has the higher conversion rate. So now let's look at revenue. Who thinks A is generating more revenue than B? Raise your hand. Okay, so people think I'm doing like a bit of a trick question here, so. And B, raise your hand. Okay, the answer is B again. Let's go. Retention. Who thinks A has the better retention than B? Raise your hand. So now the people who thought the trick question in the previous answer are changing their mind now to say, okay, probably it's B. So A, not a lot of hands. B, you think B has the better retention? I'm sorry, the B group loses on this one. But you see, like, this is just an example of that you can't just look at one dimension of something. You have to really look at everything altogether. You have to have this complete set of data to have this full understanding from interactions, mobile and mouse movements, revenue, product catalog, all of these things, to be able to really judge whether something is working or not. And this is where Contentsquare comes. We have built this all-in-one platform that collects all of these signals automatically about your customers, does all the crunching for you, and be able to surface the right insights that can drive real business outcomes that can, that can have the best impact on the customers in the business. All of this, of course, is powered by AI. This is a unique moment in time that we're witnessing unfold every single day with amazing advances in AI, and Contentsquare is leading the charge when it comes to analytics, because AI is such a big, important thing for us right now, where we have an amazing roadmap to really lead the charge and when it comes to customer experience analytics by going from AI assistance with features that we have in our product today to human supervision where you can work with AI agents that can help you do analysis all the way to having full AI automation where an AI can do a task end to end. So that's what we want to do, and we've been working on a lot of really interesting and cool things in the product, not only in AI, but across the board, that I would love to take maybe a few minutes just to show you a few examples. The AI is doing something, wait, there we go. So, lots of cool things that I'm going to show you today, and I'm going to start by talking to you about our web analytics offering, where we want to we're bringing web analytics into our product today with auto capture and retroactive analysis, surfacing insights in a way that goes very deep but makes it very easy as well, but also doing things that you cannot do with traditional web analytics. So I'll show an example of what I mean by all of this. So now imagine I'm someone who wants to analyze the performance of my acquisition funnels. I look at my dashboard and as I start looking at there, I start seeing some of my metrics here. I can see that all of them are down. My acquisition rate is down, conversion rate is down, and so on. So I want to dig in. I look at the chart here. I can see that the performance of my top channels has been dropping. So I want to understand what happened for me to be able to really dig into what's happening. But at a glance, first of all, I can see that my top channels are not performing. So I dig into the different pages that I have. So here I have a list of all my pages that are performing. I have the list here, but we want to zoom in on a very specific page, a new page that we just launched that you can see highlighted here. And you can see it's an outlier when it comes to bounce rate, when it comes to the performance here of that page, but also we're driving a lot of traffic to it compared to the others. You can see that it's not performing, plus there are a couple of others there that are not performing as well. So this gives me already, you can see in just a few clicks, I was able to very quickly zone into a problem in a specific pages, and it gives me that start of that analysis I want to do. From there, I can take many different options and many different paths, but I want to show you something that is super interesting that we have in our product today, which is our AI Copilot. So now, imagine I want to dig deeper into what's going on with these pages. There we go. So I go to my Copilot and I ask it, okay, I want to now go to the next thing. I asked it about the bounce rate for the page, and now I want to see replays. So I can natural language, instead of looking for things, I can ask it to give me replays of customers who have had this problem. And I can very quickly, from the Copilot, click play, and you can see it opens the session replay player. And from there, I can go deep into what has happened that was causing this issue. The other thing that we're also excited to bring to all of you here is our mobile analytics updates. With mobile analytics, we're making a big investment, of course, again in auto capture, where we're automatically collecting all of these signals for you. More than just crash analytics and so on, but we also want to give you that multi-channel picture and how different ways customers get into your product and so on. And I'll show you another example that is very mobile specific about something cool you can do with our offering today. So let's, again, looking at an example similar to the one we looked at before. Oops, let me go back because... So now, yeah, I'm looking now at my app sign-up completion rate. I can see that it also has a problem there, and now I want to dig deep into it. So I will move into the mobile-specific dashboard here, where I can see on this chart the performance of my push notifications. I zoom in here, you can see that the big green part of it is when customers get a notification for the credit score. In this case, I'm a product manager of a fintech company. But when it comes to people trying to finish the sign-up rate here, I see that this is not performing very well. The conversion rate is super low. So I want to understand why is it that customers, like that push notification to tell customers to finish the sign-up, is not actually working so well. So I decide to go deeper in my analysis, and I start to chart the journey that the customers go through for the sign-up through my mobile application. There we go. So I start looking at the journey analysis flow for where the customers are going. I see they are going through the different stages of signing up. But once they reach the point where they have to submit the app, I see a large portion of them are going to the web. instead of actually finishing the submission on my app, which is very strange. You would expect them to stay in the app and click submit. So I want to know what's happening here. So I click the play button, show me the session replay. So I start going through the session replay for the product. I see the customer going through the different fields in the application, but when they come to the submit button, you can see it's completely deformed. And it's much, much narrower than it needs to be. And the customer is rage clicking here. You see they're trying to click, but something is not working. And this, you can show you that very quickly, I'm able to understand where the customers got stuck and why they had to jump outside of my app and go through a much longer journey to be able to complete their sign-up, where they could have done it by just fixing this one issue. And the beauty of Contentsquare is that I can close the loop by also just saying, I want to quantify the impact of this, and we can automatically calculate for you how many other users have seen this issue and what this means for my business in terms of dollar value. Number 3 that I want to show you today is our voice of customer offering. Wait. I'm trying to skip this one, but this is the quantification I was trying to tell you, but the clicker is failing me again. There we go. I have to see the video in the end. I was trying to save time. I skip a slide, but unsuccessful. And then finally, the thing I want to talk to you about is our voice of customer offering. This is a new addition to our platform that helps you complement the quantitative analysis that we do so well with also the qualitative part, where you really listen to raw feedback from the customers. So if you go to the platform today, oops. Yeah, all right. I think I'm on the right slide. So if you go to the platform today, but I'm not sure if the video is working. No, go back. Apologies for that. There's a bit of a lag from the clicker to the slides. There we go. You go to the platform today, and look at the navigation on the left, you will see that we have this new voice of customer offering. Today, this is under the Hotjar application, but very soon, this will all, in the next few days, you will find all of this happening under the Contentsquare platform. So here, I want to create a survey to ask my customers how the performance on the checkout was and why they didn't check out. But I can't really think of the questions to ask them. So instead of having to think about the questions myself, I can go to the AI survey creator, and I can give it my goal in natural language, and it will automatically come up with the right questions to ask, what are the different options for the answers, and with one click, I can publish the survey, or if I want to go more detailed, change some of the questions or the answers, or maybe change some of my targeting settings, I can do this very quickly. But of course, the survey creation is not the end of the road. You start collecting responses, there is still the analysis you need to do afterwards. So what you can do as well is, after you publish the survey, of course, you start collecting some surveys, but as much as we love our customers, we don't have the time to go read through thousands of responses. So this is also where our AI-generated survey reports come into place. So with one click, I can summarize thousands of customer responses, where I can get a summary, the key findings, some quotes from the customers that can give me evidence verbatim about what the customers have said to support these findings. But the really cool part about it as well, it doesn't only give me the findings, but also give me ideas for what are the best next steps to take. What are the right actions that I can take to make things better. So here, I want to use this to show you what we can do afterwards. We'll double-click on that particular action, where we want to understand what has really happened in that experience. So what I will go from there, I will start going to like a more granular analysis, where I would start going in my responses, and I want to try to filter out what has happened for the customers who had this issue. So I go to my response list, and I will start filtering for the mobile experience. I clearly have an issue with mobile, and I want to see what's happening, so I will go in and filter. I say, show me the responses where someone mentions mobile, and thanks to our customers who are very transparently telling me that the experience is terrible, it gives me an idea of where to start. So what I can go from here, I can see, okay, what has happened to this customer that led them to share this strong worded feedback with me. So I can go to the session replay and I can see exactly what has happened in their experience, what has caused their frustration. And you can see in this e-commerce example, the customer is browsing the products. They want to try to add something to cart. And when they actually find the product they like and they click it, they see the spinning wheel of death that we have here. So you can see, like, this is where you can go easily from the qualitative feedback to session replay. And as I told you, you can really quantify what this means for the business, because at the end of the day, you want to take the right actions, you want to prioritize the right things, and you want to be able to work on the things that have the highest impact. So final words, experience of everything. Yes, it is hard, but it's not so much hard anymore. It's much easier with Contentsquare. I hope you enjoyed that quick sneak peek. I didn't do all of these great features justice. If you want to learn more and you want to see it more in depth, please come to our booth outside. We'll be very happy to show you everything in more detail. We will show you things more practically, answer all of your questions. And with that, I want to just say thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you have a wonderful day.